What if every movie you ever watch, every TV show, every comedy special you ever hear, every book you ever read, every conversation you ever had, every place, new place, familiar place you ever walked became the spark of your next big creation, or even the solution to a problem that's been just nagging at you for so long? On the evening of my 100th episode special, I would like to dedicate this time to encouraging you to reconnect with your own creativity via everything that's around you. And this is really just a reminder because your soul, your mind, your body, and your spirit already know how to do this. Okay, so thank you for being with me. We've reached 100 episodes, and a huge reason for that is you. So thanks for coming right off the bat. I'm not even going to wait till the end of the episode to say it. I'm going to say it right now, especially those of you in St. Paul. You are not going unseen. Although I'm ready to get out of Minnesota, I could not be more grateful for all of my St. Paul listeners. I know you're out there. I know you're listening. I appreciate you, and I want you to keep coming back. Thank you also to my wonderful listeners in Minneapolis, as well as Ashburn. You've kind of been with me from the beginning. So thank you. Grateful for all the new people who've discovered me too, but I can't help but be grateful for my roots. For those of you in St. Paul, Minneapolis, Ashburn, who've been with me, who've come back when I came back after my break. So thank you. And tonight I'm just going to spend a little bit of time encouraging you to just look at the world around you a little bit differently. So a big, I'm going to call it disease of our time, especially in the United States, is that we have been taught to be consumers rather than creators. And the people who are making money off of all the things that they tell us are wrong with ourselves are doing a really fantastic job of making us forget who we are, making us think we need to buy who we are, or making us think that we need to worship celebrities or heroes. Like, I can't help but think about how much fucking money this new Avengers movie is going to make. And it's not even because the story is going to be particularly amazing. It's because, and you can see this in all the marketing of all of the different heroes who are going to be present. People want to show up and see the heroes and how they're going to show up, right? We love a good hero. But with the way that and I mean, I like the Avengers, like it, well, minus the sexism, and money hungry corporations. But, I mean, I even wrote my story, Widow's Soul, kind of as, a spin-off all about Black Widow actually surviving and reclaiming herself after being sacrificed and forgotten. So you should go over to lovingcreatively.com and read that. But my writing that story actually ties directly to my point, is that if you can remember, and I'm speaking to you in your soul right now, that you are inherently, meaning your true nature, your divine nature, is that of a creator, you can start living that in the world again. Part of this came to mind because of a conversation I had with my husband. I was talking about my friend Graham's article that he just put out. I had Graham on the show a couple weeks ago, and Graham, part of that article is talking about how to heal our world, we need to see AI as a tool and go back, put more of our time and energy into human consciousness, meaning the divine human gifts that we all have, that we brought with us into this existence. And so I was reading bits and pieces of the article to my husband, and my husband looked up at me and said, "Okay, well, that's great, but now what? Like, what do we actually do with this information now that he's shared it?" And I was like, here's the thing about creative information. When somebody bears their soul, when they speak passionately about something they care about, when they make art out of it, if we're open to it, it sparks something in us. That's the nature of who we are if we're just simply open to it. So, really, this is as simple as just beginning to think of yourself as a creator again, not just a consumer. When you sit down and you watch a movie or you listen to a podcast or you watch a comedy special or you look at a tree, there's something creative in that. And when you go into it with this mind of, I wonder what this is going to make me think. I wonder what this is going to make me feel. I wonder how I can connect with this right now. It sparks something in you. You know why? Because we're actually all meant to be connected. We're all meant to be, you know, sharing consciousness, sharing ideas, sharing, you know, working together to create a sustainable, actually equal world. We're meant to be beings who are connected, and that's still alive in us despite all of the things that have tried to kill it over the years. So, connecting with your own creativity is approaching the things that you watch, listen to, connect with differently. It's connecting as a fellow creator rather than someone who's quote unquote less than. Because often we feel less than the people we see on TV, the people we hear in the music, right? Because they're the celebrities. They're the ones who are out there. They're the ones whose faces are on the camera who are making bank. So they must be worth more than me, right? Because that's the world we live in, where it's like, well, if someone is worth more, they make more, then they're better than us. And that's just absolutely a lie. And it's a lie told so that you will give your time and attention and entire life to buying things that you're told will fix you, will get you to level up even just a little bit. And so the other thing that I want us to just maybe think about for a second is some of the TV shows that have really popped off, that have really become popular, that have really taken off, things like, I don't know, true crime or movies about serial killers. There's really no way to look at the horror of making entertainment out of some of the most despicable, horrifying, traumatic acts possible beyond I mean, it really just kind of hits a creepy, weird ass dopamine level in people's brains where it's like, oh my God, it's like this shock value. It hits these chemicals in our brain that are like shock value. But think about it. If you actually approached TV shows, movies, things that other people have created with the mindset of a creator, think about this. If you sat down to watch a true crime documentary and you thought, what can I make from this? Hmm. Well, all you're really going to be inspired to make from that is more murder or more anxiety, because there's countless studies that have shown that we're more likely to think something horrible is going to happen to us when we watch that kind of shit. But it's part of what's wrong with storytelling today is we're telling the wrong kinds of stories for the wrong reasons. We're telling them for dopamine hits, for money, for quick cash grabs, and it's horrific. And human beings are meant to tell and listen to stories for the purposes of further creation. What can you create with murder documentaries? More murder. Can we knock it off with the true crime? Can we actually knock it off? Because that's something horrific that happened to someone or someone they love. It's the worst of humanity. It's sick people, and we're watching it while eating popcorn. It's just accessible. It's right there on the streaming networks, accessible to it's not right. We've got to fix that. And part of how we fix that is again looking at ourselves as creators, realizing that when we're watching, we're not just consuming. It can spark ideas in us. And so as I'm talking to my husband and he's like, "Okay, so now what?" When people read that, it's like, "Exactly. Now what?" I'm asking you because I think what we need to heal this whole world is for people to start studying the work of people who are looking to build a more compassionate, equal, beautiful world. And just by studying the work of people who are true artists, who are kind artists, who are compassionate artists, who are passionate about social justice and creating an equal world, just by studying their work, we're connecting with the greats of our time and the time of those who've gone before us. And they can spark us to make something that these times need. We can learn from them. I mean, you kind of had a mini multi-book club session with me in the last episode where I showed you all these wonderful books that have come to me, by Audre Lorde, Tourmaline. I was kind of brought back to Andrea Gibson's work. These are the artists, these are the poets, these are the warriors of our time, and by studying their work it sparks what we can do, because you are, although we're collectively connected, you're an individual for a reason. You have individual strengths, gifts, ideas, fun ideas that the world needs to hear. We actually do need everybody. And you want to know how to figure out what it is, pick up a book by somebody who's actually like trying to help the world. It will spark something in you. We are wired that way. We are wired to be creators, not consumers. And I'm telling you this from direct experience. When I remembered that I was a creator, I opened myself up to so many more fellow creators, people who are out there just making it, just doing the thing. And I was able to write so many more stories. I was able to pick up my guitar again and start playing music because I'm doing that. When I get to a level where I feel like I can share, I'm going to play for you, but I'm not there yet. I got to practice a little bit more first. But I was reintroduced to music again, and one thing just added to the next, and that's the beauty of creativity is you're never done because you're not supposed to be, because you can finally live fulfilled. You can finally live fulfilled making things. Now, we do finish certain projects, right? We finish certain projects. We're done with maybe that stage. We're done with that type of creativity, but now we're better equipped to try the next thing, to go to the next place. So when we live authentically, when we live creatively with who we really are, the work is never done, but that's the beauty of it. It's not supposed to be done. Because guess what? When we're done, we get bored, we get stagnant, we settle. Living a life of fulfillment and creativity is living, opening yourself up to realizing, hey, when I watch this movie, maybe it'll inspire me to make something with it. Heath Ledger, who played the Joker, and let's be honest, like there's no there's no Joker besides Heath Ledger. There never has been. There likely never will be, but I'm talking about creativity. So it's possible that there is somebody out there, even listening to this, who could be a better Joker than Heath Ledger. But we all know, at least where we're at now, Heath Ledger is the Joker. Okay. Heath Ledger is the villain. Like, can we think of any villains who've ever been as well acted and created as Heath Ledger's Joker? I don't think so. But guess what? Heath Ledger was inspired by someone. It was a musician. His name, you know what? I'm going to actually look it up for you. I meant to look it up for you before I got on the podcast, so you didn't have to sit through my awkward pause. But then I forgot. But it's so important that you get the actual name that I just need you to sit through maybe an awkward pause or stalling while I look it up. Because my husband was the one who told me about that. And Tom Waits. I knew his first name was Tom. Okay. So Tom Waits, that's Waits. He was a musician. And my husband is the one who told me that Heath Ledger studied him when he was creating his character, the Joker. And then I proceeded to look up an interview because I'm like, well, I got to hear who this guy is. I don't know who Tom Waits is, you know? So I looked up an interview with Tom Waits, and oh my God, it's the voice. It's the Joker's voice. There's even this scene, well, like Tom Waits is kind of losing it on camera, and he says something about his grandma, and it was exactly how Heath Ledger says, you know, Gambit here won't be able to get a nickel for his grandma. Like it was really fascinating. Now, Heath Ledger's work is original, but he was inspired. In his creative mind, he thought of Tom Waits, and he's like, that's the voice I need for my villain. We inspire each other. Artists inspire other artists, and you are such an artist, and the world needs your creative ideas. So, in answer to my husband's question, in answer to your question, now what? You tell me. What do you know? You know, I have an episode all about getting in touch with the things that we know. So if you haven't listened to it, go back and listen to it. And guess what? That episode was inspired by both Andrew Garfield and Johnny Larson, because I watched the movie Tick, Tick, Boom, where Andrew Garfield plays Johnny Larson, the artist who wrote the musical Rent. Okay. I watched that movie with an open mind, and it sparked something in me. It sparked something in me about human experience, which I went on to tell you. It's a positive ripple effect. And it has been such a joy to share this podcast with you, to speak to you. And I need you to know, if you don't already, I hope you do at this point in our relationship, but in case you don't, the reason that I tell you all these things is because I'm hoping it will light your divine fire again. I'm hoping you will remember who you are and that you will honor us by sharing those gifts because we need you. That's why I had to come back and talk to you because we need you. And now is the time. Now is the best time. We need your ideas. And it can be as simple as changing what you watch. It can be as simple as just, hey, you're a creative being. You don't have to be an actor or a musician or a writer. You are a creative being. You have the gift of creativity. I cannot emphasize enough that you should read Rick Rubin's book, The Creative Act, A Way of Being. I wish the whole world would read it. You know what? I even started teaching that book before I quit teaching. I actually started using that book in my lessons because it's so crucially important. It inspires something that all of us need to remember because we do have to get creative about how to rebuild this world. We do have to get creative with the trauma that we've been given, with some of the bullshit of our forebears. We have to get creative with composting that, with creating a place that is actually free and just for all. Because we all know, if we're honest about the USA, that never existed here. This place was never a place that was equal and just for all. I mean, it was literally built on the back of slaves, and the land was stolen from the indigenous folks. Like this place was never the land of the free. It was land of the few who killed everyone with their crusty diseases and then stepped on their bodies to make a nation of what? What are we? We need your creativity. We've got to build something better than this. And you know what? I'm grateful for all the stories, all the people, all the compassion that has survived to even inspire these beliefs in me. Because the fact that I know these things is because there are other teachers out there. There are indigenous people who have survived and who've told the truth and who are still here and who are still creating despite. There are Black Americans who are still here, who are themselves, who are rising despite. I think it's time the true stories of everyone be told, that we're not just known for our trauma, that we're not just known for the horrors that have been inflicted upon us, that we're known for the gifts that we have to offer. And that starts with you, opening up to your own divinity again. And so on that note, I'm going to end with a very short essay that I wrote. Yesterday. Wow, the days are so long. I literally just wrote this yesterday, but it feels like it was a long time ago. The moon is just leaving Scorpio right now, and Scorpio is my rising sign. It's my identity. It's me. Scorpio is also a master of the depths, and so whenever the moon is in Scorpio, I have especially vivid dreams. And I wrote this, although my dream wasn't about this, I was still kind of half in the ethereal realm when I woke up. And this kind of just flowed out of me yesterday morning when I woke up. And this is a true story, this is 100% about me. And I just want to share it with you in hopes that it will spark something with you as we celebrate my 100th episode. And then I'll sign off for the evening. I don't often record in the evening because my brain's not at its best, but when the calling calls, you gotta spread the calling. I don't know, I'm just gonna read what I wrote. So it's called Sacred Language. When I was younger, about 7 or 8 years old, I used to swim in the pool at my great-grandmother's apartment. My favorite activity, which I did regularly, was to submerge fully beneath the water, then twist, sway, bend, and wave with the water's flow, as if I were some sort of squid who moved like the mermaids. It was a dance. one that I have never told anyone about. The reason was simply that I thought they would find me strange for the joy that I took in that dance, or weird for moving like an ocean creature beneath the water at all. I never told anyone, but I still danced. This was before I learned to listen to my body. This was when I was taught to believe that my feminine anatomy was merely the sin bag that housed the soul that belonged to Jesus. Since then, I've survived long enough to learn that I belong to myself, that I carry the divine gift of belonging in the palm of my hand. I am the light I need to see, and now I honor my body's sacred language. I know that she is not depraved, wretched, or dependent as the Bible teaches. She is a sculpted goddess, a powerful nereid dancing with the water. She speaks the will of the waves and walks the might of mountains. I am a creature of the depths. When I grew tall enough to meet my late 30s, I learned that the stars and planets held a map for me. Their light, movement, and patterns showed me that I am the underworld. And finally opening my eyes as I traveled there in my dreams taught me that the shadows house the pain we are too afraid to rehabilitate. Yet when we find bravery enough to finally look the darkness in its immortal face, we become the void that holds the universe's most precious secrets, the restorative ones that thrive in shadow, in the darkness that is soil. But the secret seeds do not stay there forever, only their roots. They grow tall, just like me, stretching powerfully toward the light, feeding the earth with the air they have transformed into their own oxygen. We are like these seeds, if we choose. Dancing beneath the water's surface taught me these secrets before I was old enough to fully comprehend them, to fully submerge in all that many prefer to avoid as they struggle to remain afloat on the suffocating surface. I dance in the depths. I remember how much I loved the feeling of the water holding me, surrounding me. Yet I could move. I could flow with her. And I'll teach you to dance too, to call the secrets of the soil by name, beginning with home. I am. So again, that is called Sacred Language by yours truly. You can read it on my website for free, along with a bunch of my other work. So to summarize what all of this is about, number one, let's be careful about the things that we're watching and listening to and the people who we're talking to. I didn't get into this much in this particular episode, but the people we talk to inspire our creativity too, right? Like you can talk to someone and get an idea. It's why I married my husband, because I talked to him and I was like, holy shit, like my brain can breathe. Now I can be generative. Now I can think of things and I can say things. The people we talk to actually inspire our creativity too. So let's be careful about who we're talking to. Are they inspiring our creativity or just pulling us into the same toxic bullshit? And let's be careful also what we're watching on TV. True crime is stupid. It's gross. It's horrific. Why are we watching that? And right here as I'm trying to make my really like organized points, I realize I need to charge this real quick so it doesn't just like I do a good enough job accidentally signing off early, cutting myself off. I don't need electronics to do it for me. So let's be careful about what we're watching, what we're listening to, and know that like we are influenced by the things that we watch. We are not meant to be mindless drones just consuming. So maybe let's turn off the true crime and turn on inspiring stories about people who are actually trying to help and heal each other. The movie If, that's right there. IF on Netflix. John Krasinski made it. Fantastic show to just flip on. Watch Tick, Tick, Boom. I just did another really fantastic one. Read Circe by Madeline Miller. I can't, recommend that enough. Listen to Chani Nicholas's podcast. She's telling good stories all the time. She's connecting us with the stars. She's inspiring us. I mean, there's all sorts of little ways that we can unplug from the toxic things we're consuming and remember that we're creators and we can be inspired by the things that we watch. I mean, think about a food metaphor, okay? Like you eat a whole bag of potato chips, you just kind of like you consume it. You feel like shit after. You want to take a nap and forget it happened, okay? Like that's what happens when we watch this true crime bullshit. That's what happens when we watch these mindless horror movies or when we're with toxic people. We want to just nom on it and then just forget about it. It's not how we're meant to live, you know? But think about when you eat something that's actually healthy for you, right? Like, I don't know, like a vegetable, something that grew in the ground. You feel good after. It helps your brain, and you're like, holy shit, now I actually have fuel. Okay, what can I go do now that I'm properly fueled? The things we consume with our mind are just like this. So begin to connect with your creativity by unplugging from the bullshit. Turn on some new things and remind yourself that you are a creator. Read Rick Rubin's book. That's another great thing to do. And realize that creativity is found everywhere, not just in the movies, books, and TV shows. It's in the flower outside your house, the dandelion popping up through the sidewalk, the oak tree whose massive trunk, just takes up a huge portion of the park that you go to. There's creativity everywhere. The earth is a creative place. That's why we're in it, because we're creative too. And I'm telling you from direct experience, I have written so many stories because I just simply opened up my mind to the world and the people around me, the spirits around me. One thing will lead to another. You don't have to have all the answers now, but you will find them for yourself, those you love, and the planet throughout your lifetime if you just try to remember that you're a creator, you're not a consumer, and you stop feeding into the lies that create billionaires, okay? Pedophilic billionaires. I don't know if pedophilic is a word, but you know what I mean. Oh my God, Wanda Sykes. She has a great new comedy special. I've talked about it before. It's something about her alma mater, her mantra. It just came out in 2026 and she filmed it at her college. So just look for Wanda Sykes's newest comedy special that was filmed in 2026 because it's another really good creative thing to just watch. Okay. So I've already talked longer than I meant to, but I'm just really excited to talk to you. It's my 100th episode, okay? It's a celebration. And thank you again to all of you for listening. I really am grateful for you. Please listen again. Please share again. This is also a great place to spark your creativity. Scroll through my episodes. I have so many different topics meant to inspire you every single episode. And I can tell you this with absolute truth. Every single episode that I do for you, I come to the table with the intention of inspiring you. So you're going to get that energy. You may not like every episode, or every episode might not resonate with you, but the energy of wanting to spark something in you is in every episode. So you can trust that. And I'm hoping, I can't make any promises, but I am going to probably have Tom, my husband, live on camera for my 101th, also not a word, but I'm going to say it, my 101th, I understand it's 101st, but episode. I told them, you got to be in my 100th episode because, it's a celebration and people can finally see you on camera. He's like, no, I know I'm not going to be the 100th. You're going to get inspired and you're going to want to say something and you're going to go for it. And that's great. That's why I love you. But I know I'm not going to be the 100th. And you know what? He called it. So I'm going to try to commit to him being on the 101st episode because I don't think I've had him on since I've been back. I haven't. So it's long overdue that he come on the show. But in the meantime, I do thank you for coming.